Video kind of short. This is actually showing two tracks. This is 21 acres at the Jesse James project. Toward the bottom of the screen, you can see the blue highlighted tract. That's tract B. That's the 11 acres. It has the very cool log cabin on it. And then if you look toward the top, the north side of the Jesse James project, we've got tract 3, which is the wooded 10-acre tract. So we're kind of, the main focus of this one is the wooded 10-acre tract on the north. We did a separate intro video for the log cabin tract, so you can probably see that within the listing page as well. But we wanted to do the one for the 10 acres on the north and kind of also show you where the log cabin tract is as a point of reference. So the log cabin tract, if you've watched that intro video already, you've probably taken a good look at that. It's not too far off the county road, which is Cactus Road. You can get to the log cabin tract. I mean, we always recommend a car or a truck or, really a four-wheel drive on any gravel road or easement road. But historically, this road to the south side of the log cabin has been good. And then the road itself stays pretty good condition until you get here toward James Creek. And right at about the power line, it starts sloping downhill, and that's when it turns into more of a trail. So these north tracks are all really just accessible with a side-by-side or a four-wheeler. And that's the way that this was set up, is that you'll have your acreage. For the most part, any of these lettered tracks on the south side of James Creek are paired with the numbered tract on the north side of James Creek. So you've got your acreage here on the south side that you can get to in a truck or an SUV, and then you've got more of like a recreational tract of acreage on the north side, and that's the case on this one. So with this 21 total acres, you've got 11 acres on the south side with the log cabin that you can drive your truck or your SUV to. Bring your side-by-side or your four-wheeler and offload it in your meadow or wherever, and then you can venture on back to your north tract, which is extremely private. One of the more private tracts out here. It's at the far north end. It's about 10 acres in size. We've seen so many deer at the Jesse James project, and even specifically on tract 3. The guys have seen a ton of deer back there because there's a power line. You can actually see the power line easement crossing over some of these tracts, and the deer just kind of love to use that as a super highway. So to get to tract 3, pull onto your log cabin property and unload your side-by-side and take that easement road down. You'll go down the hill, you'll cross James Creek, and that's when it turns into more of a trail. I'm not saying that we haven't been all over these roads with a pickup truck, because we have, but that's how we know that you really do want a side-by-side or a four-wheeler. The pickup trucks that we use are generally not brand new vehicles, so if there's a few scratches or dents or whatnot, not a big deal to us. So just keep that in mind, is you really do want a side-by-side or a four-wheeler for your north tract, which in this case would be the 10-acre tract 3. But the way we would personally get to tract 3, we'd go down, we'd cross James Creek, keep going straight, you'll go up a hill, you'll come to this four-way intersection, and really you have two choices there. You can go straight or you can go left. I'm not sure it matters too much either way. We've gone both ways, but let's say you'll go left or west, cut across the timber here and then onto the power line easement. And then the easement trail runs with that. You go down a hill here, and you'll actually cross Mill Creek. Mill Creek again. Not again. For the first time, you'll cross Mill Creek. You've already crossed James Creek. Sorry, I'm making this more confusing than it has to be. So you'll go down a hill, you'll cross Mill Creek. This chunk of road really should not be referenced on this map. We're going to delete that. Reason being that although there is a trail there, it's really steep. I mean, it's not something that we have gone up. I think other daredevils that have been out here may have gone up and down this, but it's steep. So skip that and instead either go left or right. Our preferred method would be to go right and then hook to the left, and you'll go up a much more gradual hill to get to the top of that easement, power line easement. And from there, you can generally just go northerly, and see you'll come right onto tract 3, or you can cut west and go up that way and come into the west side of tract 3. And the reason it shows a break in the road here on tract 3 is because there is a really bad washout here. There's kind of a valley on the property, and that is not something you want to cross in any type of vehicle. So be aware of that even though there is actually a road easement connecting these two, it is not safe to drive because there's some kind of big washout here. So come in from the south or come in from the northwest onto tract 3. But tract 3 itself, gorgeous. I mean, there's beautiful timber. Let's look at the topography because that's really cool on this one. It actually does have a small creek bed just east of the center. And we've seen water in it a couple times, but generally it's dry, but it runs down into Mill Creek from the west side. So the creek bed's the lowest part on the property. And then as you go west and east from the creek bed, it slopes up pretty steeply both ways. I mean, we've only walked down to that creek bed once, and the walk down was bad and the walk up was worse, but it was really cool. I mean, there's some awesome rock formations, potentially some caves. There were some known caves right in this area. So I mean, if you're into looking for caves, this would be a good one. Looking at the topo, this indicates that valley, which we know that's where that washout is. That could also be a potential location for a spring. You'll see that at the base of valleys fairly often, actually. So, I mean, you're not going to have a ton of level ground on tract 3, but over here toward the west side, you definitely have some usable ground in the timber. Appears you do on the east side as well, but you'd have to get up this steep slope to get to the east side. We've only seen the east side with the drone. We've never walked to it. But, I mean, for hunting, for recreation, it is an awesome property, super private. You can get off in the timber and create your own site. You can go down to the creek bed and hunt for arrowheads or look for springs or caves or whatnot. It's just really, really cool. So check out the drone video as well. That's a closer look at the 10-acre portion of this property. And as we zoom out, once again here, we'll do one final overview. You've got the 11-acre portion with the log cabin right here toward the south side. You can get to that in your car. Well, we don't recommend a car at all, even though, again, we've been there in a car, but truck or an SUV always recommended on any gravel road or easement road, and that's to tract B. To get to tract 3, you are not going to get there in a car, and you're not going to happily get there in a truck unless it's got great four-wheel drive and comes pre-scratched. So tract 3 on the north side, take your side-by-side, take your four-wheeler, set up your main camp perhaps in the log cabin, and then you can venture up to that 10-acre tract at your leisure. So really cool. Love these tracts. They're a great combo. The log cabin is absolutely amazing. We've never seen anything like it. We've been doing this for a long time. It's just a really cool structure. So there you have it. If you have any questions, just let us know.